Baby's first photo. Hey guys, so let's see. Today's Wednesday, November 30th, and I am officially 10 weeks and 5 days pregnant. So Dan and I went to our first official OB appointment today. We had one with the nurse a couple weeks ago, and that was just kind of the, here's the book, take your vitals type of appointment. So not a whole lot of information at that appointment. So this was kind of the big appointment. And even the doctor said this is the most involved appointment that I'll have of the pregnancy. So went really well. Where do I start? So we had the ultrasound. It's just a vaginal ultrasound, being that I'm so early in the pregnancy. And so far it just looks like one baby in there, and baby looked good. We saw the heartbeat. She was kind of struggling with the machine a little bit, but she said that she saw enough to satisfy her. She did take a picture. I don't know how well, you can see, but you get the idea. She said everything looks good. They do give you a little magnet, my first photo, to hang on the fridge. And let's see, I'm tired, so I'm trying to remember. We just got home. So we had the ultrasound, that looked good. We talked about my medical history. She was able to find the surgical report from when I had my left ovary and fallopian tube removed. And I really like this doctor. We're with Kaiser, and from what we're told, when you go to deliver, it's pretty much whoever is on call that day. So that's a little bit hard. I wish I knew it was her for sure that would be delivering the baby, but that's okay. But we are going to be able to have all of our appointments with her, which I do appreciate. And she doesn't weight shame at all. In fact, it didn't even get brought up, other than in the end, we talked about on my visit summary, it's going to have diagnosis codes, which I do work in the medical field, so I understand that. But it's nice that she went over that for the people that maybe aren't aware. So I am considered a high-risk pregnancy because of my weight, because of my age. I'm 36. And I think that's it. But I have a history of diabetes prior to the gastric bypass. We did go ahead and do a glucose test today, among a lot of other tests, which I'll talk about. So we talked about medical history. We talked about just my general health. I still haven't had terrible morning sickness. I haven't thrown up yet. I definitely have a lot of fatigue, and I've had some nausea at times. So as far as labs go, I think they drew about 10 vials, but it went really fast. We did do the glucose test, the 1-hour glucose test. So they give you a bottle about, maybe 8 to 10 ounces of glucola. It's clear, it's lime flavored. You have 5 minutes to drink it, and then you wait an hour, and then they draw your blood. So that was fine. I don't usually chug liquids, so after the gastric bypass, I pretty much do like sips over time. So I really had to kind of push myself I just wanted to get it over with. Didn't taste bad, didn't taste great. I did talk to her about the possibility of dumping because you're drinking like pure sugar. And I told her, in my experience, if I have food in my stomach, that kind of helps to buffer the sugar. So we went ahead and had lunch because I didn't need to be fasting for any of these tests. So we went ahead and had lunch, and then came back and did the test. And I didn't have any dumping, so I feel fine. And so they did just kind of the overall, she said, general test, test for HIV, they test for syphilis, they're going to test my thyroid, they did the glucose test to make sure I don't have gestational diabetes. I know they did a lot more than that, but we did talk about genetic testing, so we're going to go ahead and do a genetic test, just the initial test. I mean, we'd rather have more information than less. That I have to do on a separate day. Sorry, I feel like I'm going to burp. I'm going to call them tomorrow. I'm hoping that the order, she said there's paperwork that goes along with that one, so I'm hoping the order is available tomorrow so I can do it because I'm off work tomorrow. Let's see. She did breast exam. She did a pap because I think it's been 2 years since my last pap, so she went ahead and just did that, which was fine. She said I might have some spotting just because of that, but I haven't noticed any yet. And yeah, honestly, she said that there couldn't be a better OB appointment, that everything looks great to her. So that feels really good. It feels kind of surreal because I still am eyeing this whole thing like, when's the ball gonna drop? Dan keeps saying to me, you feel like you're a high-risk pregnancy, but you might just have a completely smooth, fine pregnancy, and maybe you shouldn't worry so much. And he's probably right, but I still feel like, oh, there's going to be something wrong, but I think that's just me and me being anxious. I'm taking prenatals, I'm taking folic acid. I still do drink some caffeine. I've cut way back. And they say you can have the equivalent of 1 coffee per day. I've pretty much switched to tea. I was doing half decaf coffees there even before getting pregnant. But I've found since becoming pregnant, coffee just does not sound good at all, which makes me a little sad because I love coffee in my mind, but I literally would just buy half decaf coffees or decafs. I mean, I was drinking full decafs too, even before getting pregnant, just because I like the flavor of coffee. I was literally buying them and they would just sit there. And so I've switched to tea and that's been fine. As far as, am I showing or not? I mean, Dan and I definitely can tell in my lower stomach. I've got that apron, or I don't know what people call it. I just call it my lower stomach. But, we can tell just by touching it that it's changing. Now, of course, it's still early. I don't feel like I look pregnant necessarily, but I can tell my body's changing. And it's not just the baby, but the uterus and your body's just kind of getting ready. And so I'm not really like prepared to show like a baby bump yet, because I think I don't think I look like I have a baby bump. But I can tell my body is changing. Definitely my underwear are getting tight. Some of my pants are getting tight. It's hard for me. I'm sure it's hard for everybody, but it's hard for me because it makes me feel like I'm gaining weight, and it triggers that former heavier person, and makes me think, do I have to go on? It triggers that whole eating disorder thing. Do I have to go on a diet? Oh my gosh, like it just starts thoughts. And so, when I've talked about it with Dan, and I haven't talked about it with him too often, but when we've talked about it, he's like, you are pregnant, you're going to be gaining weight, your body is going to be expanding, and it helps to hear him say that, and, trying to remind myself of that. My weight did go down from my last appointment, I think 6 pounds or so. But again, my weight fluctuates so much. That's why I don't really get on the scale. So, and in fact, the doctor didn't even bring it up. I just noted it in my mind. But it made me feel a little bit better that the number was a little bit lower. And I know some people that, are heavy set, don't really I mean, some put on a lot of weight, some don't, because your weight is kind of shifting. So I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna try not to worry about it too much. I did go ahead and order on Black Friday some larger underwear, and because they are uncomfortable right now, and it's just going to continue. So I thought, well, you know, Black Friday deal, I'm going to order some underwear, larger sizes, and I already bought one pair of pants that was a size larger. You know, again, going up in sizes is always a little bit like, but it's going to happen. So there we go. As far as planning nurseries and themes, things like that, I haven't even gotten that far. I'll admit, and I talked to Daniel about it, like I kind of was not really attaching to the baby yet because my mom had 3 miscarriages. I completely know that miscarriages happen. So I didn't really want to become attached to the baby because I kind of thought, you know, I mean, I could miscarry and, you know, and of course we would just try again. But now, you know, I'm almost through the first trimester and, you know, baby looks great. So I guess I can start thinking about it. I still fall into that I don't want to jinx myself type, you know, when I try to fantasize about the future. And I think that just comes from years of, you know, being sad and depressed and disappointed with life. And then, you know, the last year, 2 years has just been amazing. And so I still fall into that old thought process sometimes. So, yeah. I think Dan and I are hoping for a girl, but of course, if it's a boy, we're gonna love him just the same. I think we were both kind of hoping for twins so that we could just kind of get it done in one swoop. I don't know that there would be a second one hiding in there, but you know, the ultrasound didn't last too long. So, as far as maybe cravings, I don't know when it's normal to start feeling cravings, but I feel like I've noticed some changes. Definitely I'm craving lemon, the flavor of lemon, a lot. And sometimes sweets sound good, sometimes they don't. Sour, like there was one day where I was really wanting Sour Patch Kids, and I've never been a sour candy person at all. But I bought a pack of Sour Patch Kids and ate the whole pack, which I still have braces on. And my whole mouth for like a few days was just like raw and tender from having all that sour. Yeah, so just random things that sound good. There was a day where I was at an orientation for my new job, and they served us meals and snacks. And for a snack, they had hummus with vegetables, and I was like, okay. And I'm normally not a hummus person, and so I went ahead and had some, and I just was like, this is so good. So I got out of the orientation early, and so I went to the store, and I have a Cuisinart food processor that we got for our wedding gift, and so I was like, I'm just gonna make my own hummus. So went to Trader Joe's, got all the stuff, came home, made it, ate a bunch of it with vegetables, and yeah, and then the next day I was like, yeah, hummus does not sound good at all. And I haven't had it since. So I don't know, it's just the funny little things that you find that I just kind of go with it. I don't think I've had any cravings that were like, you know, terrible, or that I absolutely should not be eating. So as far as names, we have a boy's name picked out. Girl's name we still haven't quite decided on yet. I mean, once we do decide, I think we'll probably hold on to it for a little while. Dan and I had talked about doing a gender reveal party, but like he said, it's hard to get everybody together, and we live so far away from our friends and family that I think we'll probably just tell everybody, which I think will be fine. maybe, you know, hopefully we'll do something fun on video, but I don't think we'll be able to have a big party just due to the circumstances. And I don't even think we'll find out. I know there are some genetic tests that will tell the gender within the test, but when I talked to my doctor about it today, she said that Kaiser didn't order the type that have the genetic testing in them. I don't even know if that's something you can, you know, go to a private lab for. I don't really know. I don't think it's that big a deal. There are different levels of testing that you can do if something comes back, you know, questionable on the step 1 of genetic testing, and so we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But otherwise, she said 16 to 20 weeks is when you would go in for the gender scan. So I'm gonna try and be patient, and although, I mean, I guess that's not that far away. I'm 10, almost 11 weeks now, so it just feels far away, but it'll probably go fast. At this point, she said we'll go in and see her once a month, and then as it gets closer, more often than that. But all right, I think I'm gonna leave it there. I can't really think of anything else that's coming to mind. If there's any information you guys want to know, I mean, I haven't watched too many vlogs where people are documenting their pregnancies, and the ones I have watched, it's all about the baby bump, which I don't really have yet. So if there's something you guys want to know, please let me know in the comments, and I'm happy to talk about it. You know, I share most things with you guys, so yeah, I'll leave it at that. Talk to you soon. Bye.